What's up, it's Z.A.K here, and today I'm here to show off my new stuff I did to my Rustler, my new setup, everything. So yeah, let's get into it. So the most noticeable thing, as you can see by the video, before this one, and before the intro, is that I have a new body for this car. And yeah, the old body I had was a Proline Bulldog for the Rustler, and that thing just sucked. It didn't hold up at all. It cracked everywhere. Like the whole rear half just broke off prematurely. That body lasted about a half a year. I had put a lot of time into painting it. Didn't really turn out the best, but yeah. I'm definitely just going to stick with the stock Rustler bodies from now on because they're pre-trimmed and they're cheaper and they work good. So yeah, and that's what this is, a pre-trimmed Traxxas Rustler stock body for the VXL. And yeah, this time I put a ton of techniques into painting it. First of all, I've done the little carbon fiber look to the little area on the hood here. I don't know what you want to call it, the detailed area on the hood. I have a video on how to spray paint carbon fiber, so I'll have the link in the description for that. For the headlights, I decided to kind of make my own style of headlight because I just didn't like how the stickers were on the Traxxas ones. So I just did that. Made my own grill as well, put a JC logo on it. For the paint, I used some Tamiya light blue. I can't remember what part number it is. I also used some Tamiya white and some Tamiya black, Tamiya red. And I used some, for this other shade of blue, I used some Duratrax blue. So I don't know what kind of blue it is, but if you can match it up, then that's what kind of blue it is. And for the side, I was trying to do the pink thing that I like to do on my race buggies, but it didn't end up working out too well, but it kind of shows. I tried doing a fade, but it failed, so I just put stickers across it. Still kind of looks like a fade on this side, but this side's a little worse. It's more, you know, it's there more. I also did my signature checkered flag down the back, which is what I'm going to start doing now with all my race cars. My Slash 4x4 has that. The 22 2.0 has that. Now this Rustler has it. I also painted the cage in red. Looks really nice. And keeping the wing clear, just like how I do with my buggies and how like everyone does it. Might put a sticker across it, who knows. But I think it looks pretty mean sitting still. Looks like it's gonna win. So yeah, now onto the setup feature of this. Now the last time I raced it, I've won 3rd place in the A-Main. I beat a 22 2.0 and that guy was skilled, he just broke. Then he threw his car back and he almost caught up to me. Then I was also racing against another Rustler, which was super dialed. And it had some sort of weird front A-arm on it. I don't know what company of A-arm is that's on it, but I've been trying out Duratrax A-arms, the rear Rustler A-arms on the front, and I even thought about fitting on some Team Associated front A-arms, but they were too thin. So I don't know what he did, but he put some short course tires on it. That thing hauled. It got like 2nd or something. But the 1st place guy, I don't know what kind of car he drove. I can't remember. It's been like a year. But all I know is I got 3rd place in A-Main with this car. It had some huge Stampede tires. The slow stock Traxxas 2056 servo. I still don't know how I got it around that track. And it had, if I think correctly, it had the Valenion system in it. The version 1 that was waterproof. The 3500. And yeah, just it was a piece of junk back then. It was just like my first actual like year of racing, and that was like the last of it. And yeah, I just didn't know what racing was until I actually got some buggies. And yeah, so taking off the body here, I backed it with some white. I also put on some iron grip right here to protect the shocks from rubbing on the body. I also think I might need to put some more on the back where the wing is to protect the motor from rubbing, or the gearbox, or just trim the gearbox to lose some weight. So my front tires, I am using some low C A77505, which is what it says right there. I don't know what kind of tires it is. It doesn't say on it. There's some really old low C tires. My older brother gave them to me like 5 years ago when I first got the car, and those were still really old. So I don't know. The foams are junk because when I started out, which this is my first RC, I put these underwater and I didn't know it was bad for it. So the foams, there's like none in there. And the tires aren't gluing a lot. You can kind of see the foam. It's kind of junk. So what I'm thinking is ungluing these and putting some new foam in there Don't know from what tire or something. I don't know. Might unglue my set of Proline edge tires and put them on some Stadium Truck wheels. Definitely not these old Traxxas ones that first came with the original Rustlers. Just spray painted them black. These tires don't work very well, obviously, because the foams are junk, but I'm guessing if they were new, they'd work well because of that low BK bars, which is made by the same brand as these front tires here. Those work really well, so I definitely screwed up a long time ago. I didn't know water would ruin foams at the time, but now water does ruin foams. The rear tires, these were given to me from my uncle. These are really old Proline Gladiators. The old Proline, if you look closely, I don't know if you could see it, but it says Gladiator right there. It's not even like by Slash 4x4's Proline Gladiator. It's a total different font. Really old tires. I just unglued them off those crappy pin drive Duratrax wheels, slapped them on these T4 rear wheels, and you know, they're perfect offset for the car. Can't see it on video, but it's just a great offset, and it gives it the right amount of width in the rear. It's probably +2 maybe millimeters, but that's fine to make it corner a little better. So yeah, I'm also thinking about widening it all overall, because like maybe 1 to 2 millimeters because of how narrow the car is, and it always just like sometimes goes on 2 wheels. Just want to have a little bit more width to the car. So the front wheels, I might have a little bit more of an offset to it. The gearing, it's geared 1783 right now. I usually run 83 spurs or 86. I don't really care, but it's either one of those two. And rarely do I run 90. That's if I'm running outdoors in the summer when it's like 90 degrees out or something. But I always run a small pinion gear. I'm running an 8.5 from, man, this is my first sensor motor. A Tacon motor from Nitro RCX, the 8.5, non-adjustable timing. That was my first sensor motor, so I didn't really know what I was getting into. And, yeah, I have the aluminum drive shaft yokes that come out of the diff. Not the aluminum, they're steel. Had them in there for like 2 years, and they're still working good. They have a little bit of play in them, like where the pin is. You can notice that. But yeah, my drive shafts are actually kind of twisted because of the power this thing puts out with these yokes. So that's good. And haven't had any drive shaft issues after I put those yokes in and adjusted my clutch correctly. So that's really good. And if you're wondering what I did here, I just decided to cut off the back half of my gearbox case because I didn't really need all that hanging off. And it was always like kind of cracking and hanging, like because there wasn't a screw right there. Because I used to have the wheelie bar, so like the screw hole was cracking, so I couldn't put a screw in there, so I just cut it off. Looks a little cleaner. Still have the stock rear A-arms, but these are the older version where they have like the cross members in them, because these are spares for my uncle when he used to have his RCs. I'm running the shocks on the outer hole on both arms. The Duratrax arms, they go out farther, so I might drill some more holes just to get it where it should be. Because right now, it's kind of under dampened and oversprung, and I'd like it to be kind of laid down more. I am using some Slash rear springs. They are the blue springs. I don't really care if they're progressive or not. They work great. I don't really give a crap what people say about that because I can just compress it if I need to, but the car handles good with these springs out. It just runs really nice. The fronts, I am using some Slash black springs. Yeah, they are a little loose, but you know, I don't really care that much, but it works good how it is. I haven't raced it on a track. The last time I raced it on a track was back this summer at Revolution Raceway. I still have to upload that video, and I keep forgetting about it. It's such an old video, but I have to upload it. Might upload it after this one, possibly. Still running the Hot Racing carriers, which have the adjustable part on it. I'm running it on the inner hole on both sides. Before I was running one side with the outer hole. I don't know why. Just could get the screw out or something. But I was running on the inner hole, just like how I do with all my other cars. The shock tower, I might drill a couple more holes in it just to have some adjustability, because you know this car is adjustable. As you can see, one of my shocks are sticking. And these shocks are stock ones. I actually bought these off my friend, and I put the titanium nitride shocks from the old ones into these because my old shocks that were plastic as well ovaled out, like on the bottom part here. So these new ones, they aren't ovaled out yet, and they work good. Later down the line, I might get some associated big bore shocks or something. I don't want to get the Traxxas ones because they aren't big bore, and I'd like shocks that hold more oil and that would respond better. These are actually bigger bore than the big bores from Traxxas, so I like using them better. As you can see, I got an RPM new shock tower. The screws on the bottom of the shock tower on the originals kept breaking off, and now it's all solid. I'm running some GPM Racing aluminum rear hub carriers. They aren't adjustable, but they have a little bit of play in them. And they wore out on the bottom side. Like, I don't know if you could tell. Well, yeah, you can't because of the camera. But yeah, it started wearing around on the outside, and it got a little bit wobbly in there. It's a little bit hard to tell. I used to have some aluminum hex hubs, but the weird story is that I rounded an aluminum hex hub out when I was in a practice run at my local track, and I brought it to the counter, and they're like, "How'd you do that?" And I was like, "I don't know, the wheel's fine, but the hex hub isn't." So yeah, I'm just running plastic ones for now, but in the future I'll definitely get aluminum ones. This is a mod I did right here because it started cracking. I hit a curb when I was bashing it, so I cut out a ton of plastic here, and I also did that because it can give me more access to adjust my servo horn, which I always need to do, especially with these crappy plastic geared servos like this 2056 that's still in here. I'm running Slash 4x4 bell cranks. They work great. I don't know if there's bearings in there. I'm guessing there isn't, but it works good. The front hexes aren't aluminum. They're the original ones that came with the car. I might replace them because they are kind of wearing out. The oil, I think front and rear I'm running 27.5, maybe 30 weight. If I can recall, it's either one of those two, or 32.5. It's one of those three, but don't quote me on that. I'm probably just gonna run it how it is. Maybe put something a little thinner in the front because of how much it sticks. Still have to adjust my ride height because I race it a little bit, so once I get it onto a track and run it a lap, I'll be able to adjust it from there. So I'm just gonna keep it like this. What else do I have to say? Yeah, I'm not running the bumper right now. I'm gonna put one on so then I can actually race it on carpet. The ESC I'm running is Dynamite Tazer 45 amp. This is the original one I got with this car after the original VXL burnt out. And then this ESC took a crap because the on and off switch broke. And yes, one of the wires are unsoldered right now. It still runs, but I jimmy wired these two switches on that kind of act as the on and off switch, but it's always on, so I don't have to screw around with reprogramming it every run. I don't run the fan because why not? It broke. I run the Hobby King HK GT2R receiver, and running all metal links all around, which my older brother also gave to me, and the battery expansion kit post because I don't know, I just have them. I got these for running 3S LiPo, but I never do that anymore with any of my cars because I don't have a 3S LiPo anymore, and I race all my cars, so they're kind of pointless. But I still have them in here because they stand up straight. What else? I don't know if there's much else to say, guys, so we'll just end the video here. Slap that sick looking body back on. That is the second to last body I painted. The last body I just painted up was a body for my friend, Z.A.K. So anyways, guys, if you're going to go race a car, I would not really recommend using our Rustler at all. Also, another story is the last 2 weeks ago when I went to the carpet track to race, which I forgot to film because, yeah, I had to marshal a lot. So, but the last time I went, there was this guy who had a Rustler, and he was literally going against all T5Ms. There was not a low C out there. It was just all team associated stuff. And I was in that race with my B4. It was the open class, so we could just run what you brung. And everyone had their stadium trucks from Team Associated out there. And then there's that one Traxxas Ruster guy. When I saw him pull up to the A-main in open, the starting line, he was like third place. And I was thinking, wow, how'd he do that? So maybe next time I'll get some setup tips from him to see how he sets up his Rustler. I know I set mine up good that one day. I won third in the A main. He was qualified the same position I ended in. But yeah, we'll get to see how this thing performs. I might even film it a little bit when I go in November at some time. So yeah, guys, that is my Rustler. There should be race videos coming soon from when I was at the other track when I was running outside. So yeah, guys, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you later.